Hello, my name is Amanda, and welcome back to Unlocking Scripture with Amanda. Today, our Bible study session will be covering Genesis chapter 4. So grab your pen and paper and let's begin. Okay. Chapter 4, verse 1. This is Cain and Abel. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain. And just for your information, Cain means possession. Okay. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she bore again his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel, he also brought of the firstling of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. Okay, when we look at their offering, it says that Cain brought the fruit of the ground. So, you know, when fruit falls on the ground, it sits on the ground, it's not the ripest. It's not the best. Abel brought his fattest, plump, best cattle. So Abel brought the best. Cain did not, is what this is saying. Okay. And here where it says, and the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. Verse 5, but unto Cain and to his offering, he had no respect. He wasn't happy with it. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. So Cain was upset. You know, you don't like my offering. You don't want my offering. So he was upset, and it showed. Let's look at Hebrews 11:4. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 4. Can you read that, please?
Verse 4. It was by faith that Abel brought a more acceptable offering to God than Cain.
So Abel's offering was more acceptable.
Abel's offering gave evidence that he was a righteous man.
There you go.
And God showed his approval of his gifts. Although Abel is long dead, he still speaks to us by his example of faith.
There you go. Great, great. All right. Verse 6. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? And if thou doest well, if you do good, shall thy not be accepted? And if thou does not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. So let me explain what 7 means. It's saying, Cain, if you do well, then you'll be accepted. But if you don't, and you don't watch your emotions, and you don't do what's right, then sin lies at the door to control you. But you must overcome this. Okay? All right. Verse 8. Abel murdered. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother. And it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, Cain, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. So let's read Hebrews chapter 12, verse 4, and see if it can explain it a little more, what God meant by your brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 4.
Verse 24. You have come to Jesus, the one who mediates the new covenant between God and people, and to the sprinkling blood which speaketh of forgiveness, instead of crying out for vengeance like the blood of Abel.
There you go. And you said that was Hebrews what?
Verse 24.
12:24? Okay, I stand corrected. That was Hebrews 12:24. Okay? And it was referring to Abel's blood, how it cried out for vengeance because from the ground, because Cain had killed him. Okay. All right, the curse of Cain. And now are thy curse from the earth, and has now are thy curse from the earth, which has opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. Okay, so he's going to have issues with producing fruit from the ground, or herbs or food from the ground. Okay, a fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth. That means he's going to be a wanderer of the earth. He's not going to stay in one place. 13. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day, and from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. Now, this right here, where it says that he's saying, everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And some people are like, hey, in regards to scripture, is only talking about Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel. Well, that's only who it's talking about, but that doesn't mean there were more people, because from the time they were born to this moment where he killed his brother, it could have been 50 years, because they live long lives, like 100 years or so. So between that time, Adam and Eve had many children, and they had children. So that's who the everyone is. And he also could be referring to any future people. Okay, so that would explain why he says that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. We don't know how far it is from the time that they were born that this incident took place. Okay, 15. And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. Okay. The mark that they're referring to has nothing to do with ethnicity. It is a mark of protection to keep anyone from killing Cain. Okay. It's a protective sign. We don't know what that sign is, but it was to protect him. Okay, 15. And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whoever slayeth Cain, I'm reading 15 again, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him shall kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. Right here, it's saying Cain knew his wife. Now remember, Adam and Eve had children. The Bible is only talking about the male line, but there were also females also. So it was just them. So he had to take a wife from one of his sisters. Okay. All right. 17. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he built a city and named the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. So this is Enoch on the line of Cain. 18. And unto Enoch was born Irad, and Irad beget Mehazjel. And I am going to mess up these names, so bear with me. I'm going to do the best I can, but read along. Read along with me. Okay? And Mehazjel beget Methuselah, and Methuselah beget Lamech. Okay, Lamech's descendants, the Lamech from the line of Cain. And Lamech took unto him 2 wives. Okay, this is the first time we see polygamy. All right, and it's from the line of Cain. And Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The name of the one was Adah, and the name of the other was Zillah. Okay, and Adah bore Jabal, and he was the father of such as dwelling in tents, and of such as to have cattle. So that's what these people did. That's what that means, his offspring. And his brother's name was Jabal, and he was the father of all such as handling harps and organs. So that's what his seed did. Okay. 22. And Zillah, who also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron, and the sister of Tubal Cain was Namad. And Lamech said to his two wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, like God said, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. Okay. And I know you don't understand where this comes from, because the continuation of this story is in one of the missing books, and it's telling you why Lamech is saying, hey, if anybody kills me, then I should be avenged 70 something fold, even more than when God said, if anybody kills Cain, he shall be avenged sevenfold. Okay. So real quickly, I want to read you this part where it comes from, the book of Jasper, and it's chapter 2, verse 26 through 35. And this is from the Apocrypha, one of the missing books that was taken from the original Bible. Do you want to read that for me? Okay. And it's starting at 26 through 35. Okay. 26. And Lamech was old and advanced in years, and his eyes were dim, and he could not see. And Tubal Cain, his son, was leading him because he could not see. And it was one day that Lamech went into the field, and Tubal Cain, his son, was with him. And while they were walking in the field, Cain, the son of Adam, advanced toward them. For Lamech was very old and could not see much, and Tubal Cain, his son, was very young. And Tubal Cain told his father to draw his bow, because they didn't know what it was. And with the arrows he killed Cain, who was yet far off. And he slew him, for he appeared to be an animal. And the arrows entered Cain's body, although he was distant from them, and he fell to the ground and died. And the Lord requited Cain's evil. That means that he finally got his payment for everything that he did in his life. And the Lord requited Cain's evil according to his wickedness, which he had done to his brother Abel, according to the word of the Lord, which he had spoken. And it came to pass, when Cain had died, that Lamech and Tubal, his son, went to see the animal which they had slain. And they saw, and behold, Cain, their grandfather, was fallen and dead upon the earth. And Lamech was very much grieved at having done this. And in clapping his hands together, he struck his son Tubal Cain and caused him to die. Okay. And the wives of Lamech heard what Lamech had done, and they sought to kill him. And the wives of Lamech hated him from that day, because he slew Cain and Tubal Cain. And the wives of Lamech separated from him and would not hearken to him in those days. And Lamech came to his wives, and he pressed them to listen to him about this matter. Okay. Is that 35? Okay, now 35. And he said to his wives, Ada, so as you see in the missing book, it still correlates with the book that's still here. And he said to his wife, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice, O wives of Lamech, attend to my words. For now you have imagined and said that I slew a man with my wounds, and a child with my stripes. I mean, hit him, for their having done no violence. But surely know that I am old and gray haired, and that my eyes are heavy through age. And I did this thing unknowingly. So after reading that part from Jasher chapter 2, now you can kind of understand what this verse means, 23, where it says, hold on just a second. And Lamech said unto his wives, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfolds. So hopefully that'll help you better understand what's going on here. And we will continue with the birth of Seth. 25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son and called his name Seth. For God said, she has appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. So Seth means compensation in Hebrew. 26. And to Seth, to him also there was a son, and he called his name Enos. And then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. So what this means right here is that at the time that Enos was born, men began to worship God by his name at this point. Okay? Now that ends Genesis chapter 4. I look forward to seeing you for Genesis chapter 5. And if you enjoyed Genesis chapter 4, this study, please like, share, and subscribe so we can share and spread this gospel. And you have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye.